ora whānau. My name is Sarah, and today we are meeting with Paul Reiffer, who is coming to the 2026 New Zealand Photography Show all the way from the United Kingdom. Paul, it is such a pleasure for us to host you in New Zealand this year, and we're very grateful for you to come. Can you tell us a little bit about your photography, how long you've been a photographer, and that sort of stuff?
Sure. So yeah, I actually I have a background not in photography. Funnily enough, my background was ex IT geek, ex IT director, ex corporate, ex all that stuff. And I got to travel around the world, got to see lots of things. Always took pictures for as long as I can remember. And then one day I had one of those, it's like the American Pie moments where the guy sort of gives up on life and says, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I'd rather go and take pictures and get paid for it than go and get paid so I can go and take pictures. So I switched professionally about 15 years ago. And the reality is I relied on that network that I built up in my old world
Mhm.
to get started. So I now shoot around the world. So we shoot commercial images for brands, travel brands, hospitality. And then I personally shoot landscapes and cityscapes. And we sort of blend the two. So if I'm doing commercial work, I can also go and shoot print. We sell fine art prints as well. So it's a bit of a mix. And I come about
Mhm.
it from not from the poor starving artist realm of 16 years old having a meltdown in a gallery somewhere. I come from, unfortunately, the business end. But this was my way out of business, as it were.
So you photograph cityscape and landscape. Is that what you've always done within your photography? Is that how you started?
So for me, for my own photography, yes. When I decided that I wanted to earn money with a camera, I got, funnily enough, three photographers that I knew. One in, it's going to sound very, very cosmopolitan. One in London, one in New York, one in San Francisco, and said, "Can you teach me?" And they all taught me through different things. So in London, I learned Flash, Studio Flash, lighting under controlled environments, whatever. In New York, I learned natural light with models, and in San Francisco, I learned properly landscape. And it was interesting for me. The two that I had to learn were the ones that I went into first, which was shooting models. So I was shooting lookbooks for models in London and so on. But I found the one that I knew already and the one that I enjoyed was the landscape one. Didn't actually need much help with that. So pretty quickly switched back to shooting rocks because rocks don't have attitude. It's quite nice. Um, you can get away with a lot with a rock or a building.
Yeah. You have quite a strong affiliation with New Zealand. You're a member of NZIPP. Have you lived here before? Have you been to New Zealand?
No, but so for years, I've lived all around the world and lots of countries, but sadly, ironically, not New Zealand. So we nearly made the move just pre-COVID to Australia and didn't, and time moves on. But I've spent I must have been in New Zealand I don't know, 20, 25 times, something like that.
Wow.
Sometimes just shooting, sometimes teaching, sometimes with clients and whatever. So it's a bit of a mix.
Mhm.
But I know it pretty well. Like most photographers from not New Zealand, I know the South Island a lot better than I know the North Island.
Yeah.
Um, but I've got friends in Auckland. We spend a lot of time out there, so it's kind of it. It's not that trite. Oh, it's my second home thing. It's not that. There's
Yeah.
just a list of places that I would happily spend the rest of my life, and I think New Zealand's probably high up on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good to hear. That's good for us Kiwis. Um, and so I'm just wanted to ask you, can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing at the 2026 New Zealand Photography Show this year?
Sure. Um, So, given New Zealand is famous for all of its waterfalls and hills and lakes and rivers and fantastic landscape scenery, we're going to be talking about high-rise city blocks. So, just to put it out there. But actually, it's funny. I joke quite a lot with my clients. So we do workshops. We do 4 or 5 workshops a year, max, and it's sort of it's a very small thing. And I have clients that travel thousands of miles to come to where I live, and I don't get it because it's on my doorstep. We often forget that the stuff that's on our doorstep is actually
Mhm.
incredible to someone else. So what we thought we'd do is, given that the audience is predominantly New Zealanders, New Zealanders don't all travel down to Milford Sound and Lake Wanaka to go and shoot every day. So going and talking about what we shoot there is kind of pointless. So let's bring something different, i.e., when you guys go traveling to other cities in the world, how to get the best out of that. And it's something that I've spent years doing. And I've done everything in that. I've done the dragged down by a security guard because we accidentally broke into somewhere. I've done the locked in by a security guard because the bribe wasn't big enough. We've brought sacks of cigarettes to people and whatever. We've also, so that was sort of the more guerrilla side of it. But over the years, we've got to the place where we know how to get the right permissions, the right access, the right people. We know how to work out where's the best place to be to shoot something. And the hint is, don't go up there and hope. There's an easy way of working out where you need to be to photograph somewhere, and it's not by trying to get there first. But things like, the normal amount of time it's going to take to get the access that you want. Stupid things like the obstacles you're going to get up there, and how we get around them. So, is it okay to strap your tripod to a lightning conductor? Hint, no. But there are ways that we can get unique angles, better access, and get a feel for a city, which is actually what most of the stuff that we do from rooftops is about. It's actually about getting that sort of buzz and hum of what the city's doing below. So that's what we're basically going to bring that to a load of people that don't have quite the same level of high-rise buildings and cities that some of the other places in the world do.
Yeah. And on Sunday, you're going to be running a masterclass, which is sounds really fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I, in part because of the camera that I use, so I use a Phase One camera, which is a big, bulky, medium format deal. They use this phrase lovingly. It's like it helps you slow down your workflow. Um, okay, it's a feature apparently, but it means that I had to use a piece of software called Capture One. So many years ago, I had to move to that. In the last probably 10 years, Capture One has changed from being this very niche, for very specific studio and Phase One users, that sort of product, into a product that's now widely adopted by pretty much, certainly up here in the northern hemisphere. If you're on a commercial shoot, if you're on a studio shoot, you're probably going to see someone tethering to Capture One. If you're a high-end photographer, you're probably going to be dipping in and out of Capture One from time to time. And a lot of people see it as this big black dark box of secrets, that because it's not Lightroom basically.
Mhm.
And there's good reason it's not Lightroom. It does some very different things very well. So we're going to basically open the lid on that, but in respect of how we get the best out of those cities that I shoot. So there's a very specific look to a city that can make it either look very dull and very boring, or very dynamic and alive.
Mhm.
And a lot of that comes from the editing. So we're going to go sort of cradle to grave from what comes out of the camera through to what actually gets printed. How we bring that sort of life to the image. How we bring some element of energy and dynamic. We spent all that time trying to get the settings right in the camera, and I
Yeah.
see it time and time again. You then trash it in the edit, and you're like, "Oh no, you've just sucked all the life out of this." So let's bring that life back, basically,
Yeah.
and get the image back to what they saw. So that's what it is. The idea being that people can also, if people want to bring their images and sort of edit along, great. if we've got some challenges. So if people have tried Capture One and something doesn't work, we can clinic it in that sense. But the idea is it'll be interactive as much as it can, but we will go start to finish on what I would do and then play with what others would as well.
Sounds amazing. Well, thank you for joining us tonight in New Zealand time, but it's morning for you over in the UK. We can't wait to see you at the photography show in Christchurch this August. We will see you there.
Cool. It'll be great. Thank you.